The curl type of chart was made up. It was a part of somebody's imagination, and you guys are stuck in his reality. Let's get into it.
And we're talking with celebrity hairstylist and creator of the gold system, Andre Walker. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we don't have just any hairstylist, folks. This was Oprah's hairstylist. And you have created a system where you can kind of classify it, identify what's yours, and know how to manage it.
Right, and I created the hair typing system so it'd be easy to identify your hair type.
Before we get started, make sure you subscribe here to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and click on that bell notification so you're notified every time I post another video. Now, listen, today we are going to unpack how Andre Walker used his product line to break the freaking internet. And what's crazy is he didn't mean to do that. He was trying to sell his products, creating the system, and now his business doesn't even exist anymore, but we're still holding on to it. Today we're going to uncover all of the actual sources of 4C, 4A, 4B, and all of that. And then I'm going to give you the truth. This has to end today.
Felicia and I, it's time to talk hair. And ladies, we've had all those days where our hair is just hard to manage. Felicia and I have them all the time. So are you searching for the perfect curl, or do you have out of control waves?
Well, we have an expert to show you the perfect way to tame your mane. And we're talking with celebrity hairstylist and creator of the gold system, Andre Walker. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we don't have just any hairstylist, folks. This was Oprah's hairstylist. Hello.
Yes.
You are the hairstylist.
For 30 years, God.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How did you get into hairstyling? Because there's always a good story behind it.
Well, you know, when I was a kid, I always was intrigued by hair, and I always played with it, so I started doing my mother's hair and her wigs. When I was in grade school, and by the time I was in high school, I was like doing her wigs for church on Sunday.
Wow.
So that's how it really started.
And people say that doing wigs is difficult, so if you can do wigs, then you can do anyone's hair.
Yes.
I think we all know that that's not true. We all know people who can lay the crap out of some lace, but they cannot straighten hair to save their life. Let's keep going.
Nice, nice. Well, I see you have your natural hair. You came with your curls. That's what we're talking about. There's so many different hair types. There's so many different kinds of women from different walks of life. And you have created a system where you can kind of classify it, identify what's yours, and know how to manage it.
Right, and I created the hair typing system so it'd be easy to identify your hair type, because before we used to talk about hair as a culture or as a race, and we know that within those cultures and races there are all different textures of hair.
This is not factual information. When you're in cosmetology school, you only are talking about the curls in the hair as it pertains to bonds. The more sulfur to sulfur linkages you have within the cortex of your hair shaft, the curlier your hair is. So a person who has a looser curl pattern has less of these sulfur to sulfur linkages, and somebody who has really curly hair has a lot more. That is how we've always talked about it. But when you are manipulating and trying to sell a product, this is a really good thing to say for marketing. Let's keep going.
So I wanted to break it down into 4 categories so people can easily relate to it and know what products to use. And that's what I designed the gold system based around also for the different hair types.
I know that we're both wondering, what are those 4 types?
Type 1 is for straight hair, and within that group there are different degrees of straightness, coarse and medium and fine. Then number 2 is wavy hair, which is, you know, a slight wave to maybe a little bit of curl.
Well, that might be some of you, Danielle.
And
yeah, maybe. I think I'm a C wave, I think.
Really?
But you blow your hair out too, so it's hard to see right now. And then there's type 3, which is what I am. And Felicia, I think you're type 3 because you blow your hair out straight off.
I don't know. I might be type 2, 3, 4, and 5. You might have to add on a whole nother type on there.
And you know, that's not unusual.
I feel like I have all of it.
People have a lot of different hair types on their head. So you could have 2 or 3 different types.
And it's one more type, right?
So we're in 3, and then there's type 4, which is kinky texture, which is a very tight, coily, kinky, highly textured hair.
Yeah, I think my natural curls are a little bit looser than yours, so I think I got the curly, the wave, and the kink.
So I think you're probably a type 3
and a half.
Yeah, but right, 3 and a half, yeah.
So we have these products, and they're all different depending on the type of hair you have?
Well, they're different styling creams for different hair types. So if you're type 1, you probably would use to get it straight, just so it's styling dream. If you're type 2 wavy hair, you would use our beautiful curls as a leave-in styler. Also, if you're type 3, you could use that. But type 4 also has what I call the beautiful kinks, which is a leave-in styler that you can also do twist outs with also.
It's never ever been about the science of hair. It's always been about selling styling products. When you are in cosmetology school or any type of anything, when it comes to education with the hair, styling your hair is the very last thing that you do. So to promote products or to promote a system that teaches you to label your hair a certain way based on what products you use to style it, without talking about the correct products that you use to shampoo and condition, why you're shampooing and conditioning, the skin cell turnover cycle, your porosity, your sebum level, all of these things were completely ignored, and we went straight to stylers. Why? Because it was about selling products, you guys. It's never been about science. It has never been about science ever. So these are things that I make videos about because I want to give you the science that everybody skipped over. All right, his making the curl typing chart for A, for B, for C, for W, X, Y, Z has never ever been about helping you be more confident in your hair, helping you understand your hair as a black woman. It had nothing to do with black women per se. His market was black women because he knew that those were the easiest women to manipulate. So let's keep watching. I don't want to hop too much into it because we're going deep.
And with the models that we've done today, I've tried to leave them in their natural texture as much as possible. But a couple like type 4, I twisted her out just so you can see the versatility of having natural hair and
awesome.
twisted out.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah, we have a lot more Oprah questions show, and visit Andre's website for more information.
Great.
All right, at the bottom of the hour, your
Andre
news.
Walker Hair would like to thank our customers for your support over the years. It has been our honor to offer you the finest products and hair care advice. We regret to inform you that we are no longer in business.
Headlines. That's beautiful.
Everyone starts out with the Ultimate Moisture Shampoo and the TKO Conditioner. I diffused her with the cool dryer with the beautiful curls in it, and voila.
Okay, and then let's go to our third model here.
Danielle is a type 4, and she has a tight, kinky texture, and it doesn't have a coil pattern. It's more of a zigzag pattern.
Okay.
So what we did here was we...
Hey girl, that's her before picture. You look fab then and fab now.
So we did, Jean did braids on her. He did about 8 different French braids on her hair.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we used the beautiful kinks as our leave-in styler, and he just braided it while it was wet and let it dry, and then we just kind of took it out.
I love it, because natural hair still needs some work. It needs some effort, some tender love and care, even though
Absolutely.
it's in its natural state. Now, I have to ask you, because you got the juice. What's Oprah's hair type, and what'd you do for her
She's
her
a
hair?
type 4, and, we would do different things with her, but we would do things like this, twist outs, braids out. We would do extensions. At one point, we were relaxing it all the time. But now she's pretty much natural.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, she's looked amazing then and now and throughout all these decades. So obviously she has you to thank for that. Thank you so much for being here. Obviously, AndreWalkerHairCare.com.
Before we get started, I am not hurting my client. I'm not pulling my client's head to the side. I teach my clients that if they feel any resistance to go in the direction that I'm pulling in, so that way we're not fighting against each other. So she's not holding her head to the side because she's in pain or because I'm hurting her in any way, shape, or form. That's why she's turning around and smiling, because I keep asking her, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she was like, "Girl, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was about to fall asleep." And then she started laughing. So I need everybody to understand that I love you guys, but just because you haven't mastered how to detangle your hair with oil without pain does not mean that I have it, right? So I want to say this. I think that we know at this point. I feel really confident in saying that Oprah Winfrey did not embrace the whole curl typing chart thing, guys. Like, it's something that he was going on different shows right at the end, right before he ended up closing down the business, right, to promote it even more, because YouTubers had saw it. The video clip that you guys just saw was about 6 years ago, right? So the video clip was about 6 years ago, but the Team Natural community had been around for about I'm gonna say 4 or 5 years previous to that. So he was saying that the curl typing chart that he made up was morphing into something else and was going on news broadcasts. But the news broadcast, or the video that I just showed you guys, that wasn't a big like TV station. That's why a lot of people don't even know about it. A lot of people think that the curl typing chart is really supported by science, but as you can see, Oprah Winfrey does not subscribe to curl typing and twist outs and wash and goes. Like, that's not a thing, guys. I love you so much, but it's not a thing. So at this point, I need everybody to really get into what hair care really means and what the science of hair really consists of, because wet detangling and sleeping in conditioner and detangling with conditioner, it's just not a thing. Right now, as I am combing through my clients' hair, things become really complicated because of the things that Team Natural has taught you guys. What I'm showing you, the man who made up the curl typing chart, this is his Instagram, right? And the business was discontinued. The product line is no longer open. They no longer sell products, right? But the thing that he made up to sell the products has went viral, and women have adopted that as their new thing. Now, the woman that you are watching in the chair, I love her to pieces, but she's a client that I used to have who would have extremely matted, tangled hair. And when you have matting and tangled hair at this level, right, and when your hair is not used to being combed and brushed, even once the matting and tangles are, the mats and tangles are removed, they snap right back into place because that is the memory that your hair has. So even after detangling her hair dry, it would always make it like that. Now, I love Kimbra, you know, as my leave-in conditioner. So the Kimbra that I'm using as this leave-in conditioner is also a heat protected, right? So your leave-in conditioner is your heat protected for your blowout. But this video that you're watching is about 6 years old as well. And right now, what I'm showing you guys is something that I deal with on a regular basis, because around this time, women were just completely neglecting their hair. Unless their hair was like, if their hair was under a wig, it just wasn't combed, right? The normal routine and the normal pattern for women would be to just go ahead, do twist outs, and when the twist outs and wash and goes got old, that would be it. Now, the video in the upper right hand corner is sped up times 20, but this is a person who literally did not comb their hair for a very long time, and then came into the shop. At this point, I hadn't washed her hair yet. She came into the shop with wet hair, and it was matted at the roots. So even though I don't like combing hair wet or detangling hair wet, at that point I had absolutely no option. And back then, when I was making videos, which is why I stopped, in the comments there were so many people like, oh my god, look at how rough you are with her hair, look at how rough you are with her hair. And the reality of it is, you guys, having matting and tangles in your hair like this is not normal. If you are combing your hair on a regular basis, this does not happen. When I was live the other day, I had a cosmetologist in the group, and she said that people would pay her like $50-$60 on top of her premium price just so they don't have to comb their own hair, just so they don't have to detangle their own hair. And you guys, that's an issue. It should not be so painful to detangle your hair that it like you cry. Like detangling and combing your hair should not be painful. The only time it's going to be painful is when there's no memory, when it's never really being done and the hair is allowed to mat up and tangle. And the reason that so many of us have this issue is because once the curl typing thing went viral, and once Team Natural started, and once Team Natural adopted Andre Walker's little thing that he made up, okay, he made that up. Once Team Natural took that on and started making videos after video after video because it went viral, women completely threw away their accountability. Because again, in the video, he never talked about, oh, these are the proper ways to wash your hair, these are the proper ways to care for your hair, these are the proper ways to dry it. It was just like, nope, here's this product, you put this product in, we did a twist, and then while it was wet we let it dry, and then we picked it out, and then it was done. And this is the mentality that Black women have from this curl typing chart. And I want you to realize, like, when he was doing that video, Black women were not the only women in the video. He also had a woman who had wavy hair, but with her wavy hair, he wasn't braiding her hair. He wasn't doing a whole lot of different things that cause mechanical damage and braiding her hair up while it was wet and twisting it. No, the woman who had wavy hair, he respected the integrity of her hair. He put the product in her hair, he combed it. Listen to me, he combed her hair, and then he set it with a diffuser. He dried it. It's a difference. But then when he got to the curlier textures, you guys, that's when he started throwing caution to the wind. That's when he started throwing the science away. Oh, he just braided it up and then we let it air dry over there. We just braided it up wet and then just let it air dry. It's like drilled into your head in cosmetology school. If you went to a good school, you never ever braid hair wet. You never ever braid hair wet. You never ever detangle hair wet. Like, these are things that are drilled into your head in cosmetology school. So when you see people going in the opposite direction, you know exactly why. And these are things that I really want everybody to get. When I'm doing videos like this, you guys, these appointments took a minimum of 2 hours, and the video itself that you're watching is like under 20 minutes. A video will be under 20 minutes, so we'll edit a 2-hour long process into a 20-minute clip. So the way that I'm combing her hair is not, it wasn't in a rough and tough way. My clients literally used to fall asleep in my chair. And my clients didn't mind me detangling their hair because it would be completely painless. They would be like, Sion, what are you doing? And it's because I didn't have any resistance. The thing that gives your conditioner slip, that makes it easier to comb through your hair, is oil. That's what a conditioner is made of, nothing but water, emulsifying wax that is melted down, and oils and different additives like silcominos, right, that give slip, right? But these same exact properties are in a serum. These same exact properties are in a oil. And so these are things that I really need you to understand. In the salon, I was not detangling my client's hair by wetting it or by putting a bunch of oil in it, because if I completely saturate my client's hair in oil, then I'm making more work for myself, because then I have to double back and do a clarifier to get all of the oil out, because if her hair has oil in it, her silk press isn't going to be weightless. It's going to look stringy. It's going to be stiff. It won't move. The key to the perfect silk press is to have weightless hair, and the only way that you can have weightless hair is to not add any weight to it, right? So these are the things that I really want people to understand. And when she came to me, she was not coming to me, because she doesn't like her hair straight. I mean, she doesn't like her hair curly as a Black woman. No, it's so she can have routines and patterns. My clients would come and get their hair straightened by me once a month. That would be our pattern. They would get their hair straightened by me once a month. It would last anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, and then they will wash their hair at home. And at home, they would either do a flexi rod set or a roller set. They were not doing a bunch of different crazy things. And they were not getting up every day straightening their hair, because if the hair is straightened right the first time, you don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about those things. And women who would come in and say, oh, I sweated my scalp and they worked out and things of that nature, their silk press wouldn't last them 3 weeks because they sweat in their scalp. And if they worked out, they would put rollers at their roots to keep their hair stretched as they worked out. And then once they got done, then they would take those rollers out, sit up under, before they took the rollers out, they would sit up under the dryer, making sure that their hair was completely dry, unwrap their hair, and then boom, shikala boom, they were done. It's just that simple. Or clients that hair was going to be sweated out by the morning because they just sweat so much in their scalp. This was something that they only did every 10 weeks just to make sure that their ends wasn't razzle dazzle, and they didn't wear their hair in straight styles ever. But they also did not do wash and goes, and they did not do twist outs. They did not stand behind products and wet their hair and slather it with a whole bunch of hair products the way that Andre Walker told the industry too. Nobody, this isn't the way that Team Natural is. The way that you guys do your hair with twist outs and wash and goes is not something that was created for Black pride, for Black women to be confident. No, it was a money grab, and it's still a money grab today. And this is the thing, Andre Walker's hair products were discontinued. Like his website is no longer accessible. But this is the thing, people who study the market have been studying it for a very long time, and they saw the way that y'all jumped on his curl typing system. They saw the way that you jumped on it. So product lines were like, oh my God, yes, we got one. We got something. Let's start talking about this. Then YouTube saw it and said, oh yeah, this is good. Let me transform this. Let me transform this and make it seem like it's just for Black women. And then they took it from a curl typing chart for all women of all races to just something only for Black women. The curl typing chart was made only for Black women, for Black women to feel confident. That is a lie. No, it was not. And I just proved it to you. The curl typing chart has nothing to do with Black pride. The curl typing chart has nothing to do with helping Black women know who they are. It teaches you nothing about your actual body. It teaches you nothing about your porosity, your sebum level, your skin cell turnover cycle. It teaches you nothing about the level of your sweat gland, whether you have a high or a very, very active sweat gland, a mid-active sweat gland, or an extremely active sweat gland like myself. Right? It teaches you nothing. The only thing the curl typing chart teaches you is, oh, my curls look like that. One thing that it helps with in a really good way is helping you pick extensions. If you want to pick some extensions that really match your curl pattern, and you want to do it online, and you want to label yourself as 4C, and they label some hair extensions as 4C, then boom, it helps like that. But as it pertains to the way that you do your hair, nothing. It adds no value, none whatsoever. And it was one of the things that made my career its hardest, because I spent my days like combing knots and mats out of so many people's hair. And then when I would post the videos online, people would be like, it's your fault. Why are you being so rough on her hair? Not even knowing that my clients would be like saying, how are you so like light-handed? Like, how does it not hurt? And then I would tell them, okay, look, do it like this when you get home. And then they never had pain detangling again, because once a woman sat in my chair, she knew how to detangle her hair with oil or a serum, preferably a serum, right? So these are things that I really, really want all of us to think about. When I'm making these videos, I am no longer behind the chair. I have been out of the industry for over 5 years now, well over 5 years. Because however long COVID was, I stopped doing hair 2 years before COVID. So that's how long I've been from behind the chair. Somebody put in the comments, because I don't know. But one thing that I always try to tell you guys is, even though my energy may be intense, it's coming from love. And I want you to understand that if you find cosmetologists that are short, if you find cosmetologists that are irritated when you're like, I'm 4B, I'm 4C, this is why. Most consumers know nothing about it, but if you're within the industry, you know exactly who Andre Walker is. You know exactly how he made up something that a YouTuber saw bits and pieces of. And when I'm on my channel and I'm telling y'all, don't search blogs, don't just go on Google, right? I'm telling you guys to do that because I want you to search medical journals with data. Because when you just search Google, what you find is things like the curl typing chart. Because just like I found the video and I found the receipts to show you where it actually came from, right? When somebody else saw it, they gave you a bit and piece of it. They saw Andre Walker and his entire system, but they decided the only section of that curl typing chart that they were going to pay attention to and maximize is the black version, the black women with really, really curly hair. Have you ever asked yourself why none of the products for other races have 1A, 1B, 1C, 1A on them? Because even though the video that you just watched of Andre Walker is 6 years old, he started his product line in the early 1990s. I was about 4 years old when Andre Walker started his hair product line. So I want y'all to really, really start doing your research. When you come across a video, don't take anything that they say as fact. Even me, right? Everything that I say, you can research and verify on your own. You don't ever have to take my word for it. At this point, again, I am going ahead and trimming her ends. You guys, I use pretty much the same products in every video. I'm never switching up. I left them on the screen, and check the link in the description box below so you can head over to my Amazon store and check it out over there. Okay, I love you guys so much. I really want you to get in a mind space where you are not so easily manipulated, because it's so easy to be manipulated out here in these hair care streets, right? But I want y'all to know that every product line that y'all are seeing on the market is a carbon copy of what Andre Walker tried to do. They literally all took the little itty bitty portion of his script, and then they just keep reproducing products over and over and over again, right? The curl typing chart took off, but it never died down. So now they just keep adding on stuff to it every year. Apple cider vinegar 1 year, coconut oil 1 year, rice water another year. Now that bonds are going viral, right? Now that bonds are going viral, now everybody's doing a bond collection. I need you to pay attention. I need you to pay attention, and I need you to learn the science of hair, because when you learn the science of hair, it is so easy for you to separate the people who are trying to manipulate you out of your money from the people who are really just trying to teach you the way that the human body works. It's a really big difference. So now at this point, I am just styling her hair. She got a lecture. Okay, she got a lecture, but she was a new mommy and just didn't really have time to do her hair, so she was using like Team Natural stuff as a shortcut. But there were shortcuts that just gave her the biggest setbacks, because instead of every time I see her just trimming her hair and us retaining length, I have to cut so much hair off because of the damage done to the hair shaft. And once the end split, it keeps splitting all the way up the hair shaft. So I wasn't just gonna leave it there and cut a little bit later, because by the time I see her then, it split even higher up. So we just handled it there all at that time. All right, I love you guys. Make sure you talk to me in the comments. I know this was a long one. I hope it didn't put anybody in their feelings, but it is what it is. I love you guys. Bye.